What's the best video editing software for Mac right now in 2020? Well, here's our roundup of the latest options with our pick for the best video editors in every category, from the best free software to paid and professional options, with everything that you need to know to help you decide which one is right for you. Hey, it's Justin Brown here from Primal Video, where we help you grow an audience and scale your revenue with online video. If you're new here, make sure you click that subscribe button, and all the links to everything we mentioned in this video, you can find linked in the description box below. So let's jump into it. Now, video editing software updates so fast. So we do a roundup like this every 6 to 12 months for both Windows and Mac. And every time we go back to the drawing board, we restart all of our research and we retest a ton of options to eventually narrow the list down to our recommendations for the best video editing software on every budget. And as always, there have been some big changes since our last video. Some of my prior recommendations still make the cut, whereas others have fallen behind and some newer options have stepped in to take their place. Now, just like last time, I'm going to break this overview down into multiple pricing categories, including free, paid, and more professional software, so that you can see what's available at each level. You can hear our recommendations, and if you're starting at one of the lower brackets, then you can know exactly what you'll be unlocking if you do jump into a higher bracket. And while you're watching, make sure to drop a comment and let us know what video editing software you're using right now and your #1 pick for best video editing software on Mac in 2020. And once we're done with my recommendations across every pricing bracket, we're going to wrap up with 3 quick tips that you can use to level up your editing and edit faster in any video editing software. Okay, so here are the pricing categories that we're going to be breaking this down into. The first one is free. So obviously that's going to include all the free video editing software out there available on Mac right now. But note, we are not going to include any video editing software that includes a watermark or branding when you're saving out your videos. So you can get great results in any of these options. The next category from there is the sub $200 category. So that includes all video editing software under that $200 price point. Now, we've also included free software in here as well, because if you are willing to spend up to $200 on your video editing software, then obviously you've got some free options in there that are options for you as well. And the last category then is opening it up to all video editing software above $200 as well. So this third category is really going to include all video editing software that is available, covering the $200 plus, covering under $200, and also covering free, so that you really can get the best editing software for you if you're interested in spending above $200. Okay, so starting off in the free category then, this includes things like iMovie, Shortcut, Hitfilm Express, Davinci Resolve, Lightworks, and Avid Media Composer First. Now, from testing all of those, my top 3 on my shortlist comes down to iMovie, Hitfilm Express, and Davinci Resolve. Now, each of these are totally different programs, and they are going to suit different people depending on the types of videos you're making and your skill level as well. So iMovie really is like a household name when it comes to video editing software on a Mac. It's free to download from the Mac App Store if it's not already pre-installed on your computer, and it's going to allow you to create decent videos. The interface in there is really intuitive, and even for someone, if this is the first time you're going to be editing a video, you're going to be able to get up to speed relatively quickly and start creating your masterpiece. I think the biggest limitation on iMovie right now is the limited formats that it supports. Pretty much all other video editing software out there will let you create a widescreen video, a portrait video for something like Instagram or Instagram TV, or a square video, whereas iMovie doesn't give you those options. You're just stuck with a widescreen video. So it's not a deal breaker, but it's definitely something you need to be aware of. So I think iMovie is great for someone if they're an absolute beginner, or they're really not after too many features and advanced controls and those sorts of things. But what I really like about it too is it has a clear upgrade path. If you are someone who is looking for more and outgrowing iMovie, then you can go to their big brother software, their next step up, Final Cut Pro, and the interface is fairly similar. So if you get up to speed with iMovie, you're looking to upgrade, it's not going to take you long to get familiar inside of Final Cut as well, but we will get to Final Cut a little bit later on. Hitfilm Express is another one with a really nice, clean, easy to use and easy to get up to speed interface. It's going to be great for an absolute beginner right through to sort of an intermediate level, because there is more advanced features and things in there than what you're getting in iMovie. Now, while Hitfilm itself is free, you do have the option in there to unlock additional effects and additional features and tools in there, either as purchasing them as a separate add-on on as and when you need them. Or beyond that as well, there's also the clear upgrade path through to their Pro version, which unlocks all the features and functionality. Now, while Hitfilm Express is a great option for video editing, it's not just video editing software. It's also got great tools in there for motion graphics and for special effects and those sorts of things as well. Now, the third one on the shortlist is Davinci Resolve. Now, this one is hands down the most professional, most advanced video editing software out there for free without any question. It really is ridiculous that they are giving this away for free. This is actual professional video editing software that people use for things like movies and documentaries and even in broadcast. And it's free. Now, just like with Hitfilm, how it's not just video editing software, Davinci Resolve is exactly the same. It has a heap of extra built-in tools, again, for compositing, for special effects, for motion graphics, for audio as well. And the color grading tools in there are really second to none. But I do want to stress that for someone who is a beginner or a brand new editor, the learning curve in here to get up to speed and to find everything and to actually start editing, really, you're going to need to invest some time to learn the process and learn how everything works in here. It's not like some of the other options where you can just jump in and start editing quick. There's going to be a lot more to learn and to navigate inside of Resolve. So Resolve is going to be perfect for someone who is looking for all of those extra advanced features and pro level tools while they're creating their videos. But also I would say someone from the sort of intermediate level through to advanced user. A beginner is definitely going to be overwhelmed in there. Now, if I had to pick a winner in this category, it really is going to go hands down to Davinci Resolve. It is just incredible what they give you access to in that software for nothing. So yeah, it's a clear winner in this category. So moving into the next category, this is where we open it up to all paid video editing software under $200. And again, we've included the free software in here to make it the best option for you under the $200 price point. Now, typically what you usually find with paid video editing software versus free software is that you've got that next level of professionalism, next level of polish, next level of features and controls without restrictions on things in the free software. And I say typically though, because there are clear standouts like Davinci Resolve that don't really have a lot of those restrictions in place or nowhere to the point that some of the other free software does. So now in this sub $200 category, we've got things like Filmora, Adobe Premiere Rush, MovAVI Plus, WeVideo, ScreenFlow, Adobe Premiere Elements, Filmora Pro, and Lightworks Pro. Now, once again, from trying and testing all of these, I've narrowed this down to a shortlist of 4. And those include WeVideo, Filmora, Filmora Pro, and Davinci Resolve. So you can see that free version of Davinci Resolve is actually beating out a lot of the paid options in this category. So as for the new ones in the shortlist then, WeVideo is an amazing online video editor. It runs in your web browser, which means that you don't need to download and install anything onto your computer, which also means that you don't need to have a really powerful computer. You can literally edit and get great results on something low powered like a Chromebook with WeVideo. The overall interface and experience is really intuitive. It's really easy for someone to jump in and to get up to speed editing, even if you were an absolute beginner. But it also packs a punch with a lot of the features and the power that you actually have in there as well. I was totally blown away with how well WeVideo, this cloud-based editing solution, edits 4K video and multiple tracks of 4K video. And that's where I think this is really powerful, because you really don't need to have a beast of a computer to be able to edit multiple layers of 4K video in something like WeVideo. Now, the biggest thing to be aware of if your internet speed isn't too great is that it will take you some time to upload your files to WeVideo, but that upload process does happen in the background, and you can start and continue editing your videos while that upload is happening. But also, because this is a cloud-based solution, it's easy to log in and use it on different computers, or really easy as well to work with people remotely, having them log in and work on your projects and work collaboratively that way. Now, in regards to pricing, WeVideo is a monthly subscription starting at $4.99 for their power plan. That plan does limit the quality of your videos to 720p, but the next plan up, the unlimited plan for $7.99, removes that limitation and will give you right up to 4K quality. The next one on our shortlist is Filmora. Now, this was one that not that long ago, I never thought that I would be recommending to people, but it's actually amazing what they have in there now. Once again, this is a really easy to use, really intuitive video editing solution. It's going to be perfect for someone who is an absolute beginner, right through to sort of an intermediate level, because there are some advanced features and things in there as well. One of the biggest standout things for me though, was how fast this application actually is. Not just for rendering or for export, but also timeline performance and editing performance as well. And we tested it on some older computers too. So it's not just the latest and greatest. Filmora seemed to work pretty well across the board. And the other cool thing about Filmora is that they let you purchase lifetime access to use it. So you're not just limited to a monthly subscription. So you can currently grab Filmora lifetime access for $59.99. And as I said, for someone who's an absolute beginner through to an intermediate level, this is going to be perfect. So the next one on the shortlist is Filmora Pro. So the Pro version of the one that we just looked at. Now I want to say at this point that this video is not sponsored. It's not paid for or endorsed by Filmora. They have no idea that we are even creating this video. It's just ridiculous how awesome this software is, especially when you're looking at the price and comparing it to what else is out there. And again, it wasn't that long ago that I thought that I would never be recommending anything Filmora on this channel. So hey, well played, Filmora. So this Pro version really just builds upon the standard version of Filmora. So the interface, very similar, still really intuitive, still really easy to use, but obviously it's adding in a heap of Pro functionality as well. This was one of the biggest things. I was totally blown away with how many features that they have in here that really mimic what you find in applications like Adobe Premiere Pro and even Final Cut. And the interface itself really mimics closely Adobe Premiere Pro. So if you're familiar with that, then you're gonna feel right at home inside of Filmora. But even specifically looking at things like the effects and the color control and the color effects that you have in there to apply and tweak and adjust for your videos, they've really gone all out on this and are bringing in pro level features into Filmora Pro. Now, in regards to pricing, you've got two options. The first one is $89.99 per year on an annual subscription, or once again, you can actually purchase lifetime access for $149.99. So if you're someone who's not a big fan of the subscription models, these guys have you covered. And the last one on our shortlist for this category was Davinci Resolve, which again was the winner in the previous category for best video editing software for free. It is ridiculous what you are getting access to for free. So much so that you can see this has actually beaten out a lot of paid options up to that $200 price point. So in this category, if I had to pick a winner, it's going to go again to Davinci Resolve. It really is ridiculous what you're getting access to in there. These are pro level tools, pro features for free. So it's pretty hard to beat that. And that brings us to the third category where we're opening this up and we're adding in all video editing software above $200 as well. So typically at this price point, this is where we're opening it up to all the pro level software, all the advanced features, all the advanced functionality, really the stuff that you would use in broadcast or as a video production professional. And again, I say typically because Davinci Resolve is kind of giving you all of that for free. So in this category now, we've got things like Hitfilm Pro, Camtasia, Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro, Avid Media Composer, and Davinci Resolve Studio. So the studio version or the paid version of Davinci Resolve. Now really the biggest differences between the studio version of Davinci Resolve and the free version come down to things like unlocking higher resolutions. So the free version will let you create up to a UHD 4K file, whereas for true 4K and above up to 8K, that's where you'll want the studio version. The studio version also unlocks a heap of really professional filters and effects, higher frame rates in your projects as well, so up to 120 frames per second, 10-bit color support, collaborative video editing, and even facial recognition. So my shortlist then for this category, which really becomes my shortlist for best video editing software on Mac, includes WeVideo, Filmora, Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro, and Davinci Resolve. So those are my top 5. So let's take a quick look at the 2 that we haven't mentioned yet in this video, and they are Final Cut and Adobe Premiere Pro. So Final Cut Pro is really the big brother or the professional version of iMovie. In there, it's got a really nice, easy to use interface and a full suite of professional tools for editing your videos. Now, just like with Filmora, it really wasn't that long ago that I used to think that Final Cut was a bit of a joke, that it was iMovie plus, and that it definitely couldn't be considered professional video editing software. But I have totally changed my tune with that a few years ago. I seriously started using Final Cut, and I have to say it is probably one of the fastest video editing software applications out there. Not just performance-wise, it definitely is performance-wise, but not just performance-wise, it is also your editing speed-wise. The whole approach to editing and how you can save and catalog your files and everything in there, it's totally different to any of the other options out there, but it makes your editing so fast. So now I'm here once again flying the flag for Final Cut. Now that power and performance that you get inside of Final Cut is really due to Apple writing the software and Apple also making the hardware. So the two of them work together really, really well. And it really is, I would say, unparalleled against any other software out there to have the hardware talk to the software so well. So it is really, really optimized, and that's why it's so fast. But the other thing about Final Cut is that it's a one-time purchase for $299. Literally, buy it once and just get free updates forever. I bought this thing years ago and I'm still getting updates today without spending any more on it. And the next one then is Adobe Premiere Pro. And this one is now becoming really the household name or the go-to for a lot of people creating their videos out there on the professional side of things. Not only is it really amazing video editing software on its own as a standalone, but it also works really, really well with the rest of the Adobe suite, like Photoshop or After Effects or Audition. So you can really bring in all of those different applications and work seamlessly on your project, literally with the click of a button. What's also cool is because Premiere is so popular, there's so many themes and plugins and templates and things that you can purchase to use with it as well, all to level up the videos that you're creating and to help you create them faster. But the standout thing for me with Premiere is how easy it is to work with a team, or work with external editors and extra people that are helping you create your videos. So for me personally, anything that is a long form project, client work, documentary, Premiere is my go-to for that. Now in regards to pricing, Premiere is a subscription model. So you can pick up a subscription, a monthly subscription, starting at $20.99 for just Premiere, or you can grab it with the rest of the Adobe suite, so things like After Effects and Photoshop and everything, for $52.99. So to round this shortlist out and to give you some recommendations, WeVideo, I would say, is going to be perfect for an absolute beginner through to an intermediate level that maybe doesn't have access to the best hardware or the most powerful computer, or is looking to edit in the cloud and work remotely easily with other editors. Filmora is going to be perfect if you're an absolute beginner right through to an intermediate sort of level, given how fast, given how intuitive and easy the interface is to use, but also having that power and the performance in there as well to not make it tedious or painful to edit in. And beyond that, moving into the more professional applications like Adobe Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, and Davinci Resolve, this is where things get a little more complicated. There really is no right or wrong here, and there are standout features across all three of these that may be the game changer for you. Hands down, Davinci Resolve has the best color grading tools out there. Adobe Premiere probably has the most popularity, so it'd be easy for you to find an editor to come and help you with your editing, to find extra plugins and templates and those sorts of things for your edits, but also probably a lot more tutorials and help out there to help you get up to speed editing. And Final Cut, I would say on the pro level of things, probably has the most amount of performance and is the fastest to actually edit in. And yes, I can edit pretty damn fast on all three of them, but I would say the way that Final Cut handles the edit and takes its approach to editing, it is actually faster than the other two. So if I had to pick a winner out of these right now for best video editing software on Mac 2020, it is going to go to Final Cut. I really think it is the all-round best solution out there when it comes to power, performance, functionality, tools, and obviously how fast you can edit in there as well. But I will say that it will also come down to the type of project that I am taking on. I really like the workflow and how easy it is to work with external editors in Adobe Premiere Pro. Yes, I know that you can do it in Resolve. Yes, I know that you can do it in Final Cut as well, but it's not the same and it's not as good, in my opinion, to what you can do and how it works with Adobe Premiere. So I do think the best video editing software out there for you is going to come down to the types of videos that you're creating and also your skill set. And for me, I really don't just use one application for everything. I just treat video editing software like a tool to get the job done. Which tool is the best one for me to use for this type of video? And I'll jump in and use that. Now, I'm not saying you need to go and learn and purchase lots of different applications, But what I would suggest is that you grab some trial versions and have a play around and see which one is the easiest for you to edit in, the most intuitive, but also has the amount of features and things that you need to edit right now. You can always upgrade to something else later if you're hitting limits with the software that you're currently using. Now I know that's a lot to take in, but I did say that I would share with you at the end of this video my top 3 tips to help you edit faster no matter which editing software you're using. Tip number 1 is to try and learn some of the keyboard shortcuts. I can't stress enough how much faster this is going to make your editing with just pressing a couple of keys on the keyboard. Is going to save you maybe 3 or 4 mouse clicks and mouse movements, which over time is going to speed up your editing dramatically. Tip number 2 is to focus on editing down your core story or your core content first before getting carried away with all of the color grades and color effects and those sorts of things. A lot of people jump straight into the stuff to make your video look pretty first, and all that does is end up slowing down your computer and making your computer process and render everything while you're editing. Save that stuff for last to focus on the content and the story first. And tip number 3 is to take that little bit of time when you're starting a new project to create some folders or bins to categorize everything that you're bringing in. So it could be that you're creating a folder for footage, one for music, one for sound effects, one for any photos or graphics that you're going to use, also that you can have things in a quick, easy to find place while you're editing. You don't want to be sorting through a big list of files, trying to find everything when you're in the middle of editing. It's really all about keeping that momentum going. So taking that little bit of time up front to catalog everything and categorize everything is going to save you a heap of time later in the editing project. Now those 3 tips are just 3 tips from our full video editing process guide, the Primal Video Method, the most efficient way to edit your videos down with minimal wasted time and rework. You can grab your copy with the link on screen, and there's a link below in the description as well. And I'll see you in the next one.